Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Assigned by His Majesty the Sultan, His Excellency, the Foreign Minister delivers the Sultanate of Oman speech on the occasion of the 80th anniversary of the founding of the United Nations. Moody's upgrades Oman's credit rating to Baa3 with a stable outlook. And indirect talks continue to reach an agreement in the Gaza Strip, and dozens of martyrs and wounded as a result of the Israeli aggression. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency Carlos Villanova, President of the Democratic Republic of Sao Tome and Principe, on the occasion of his country's independence anniversary. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamad Al Busaidi, the Foreign Minister, delivered the Sultanate of Oman speech on the occasion of the 80th anniversary of the founding of the United Nations. The speech was published on the organization's official platforms. His Excellency began his speech by conveying His Majesty the Sultan's greetings to His Excellency Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the United Nations, wishing him success in his work and international efforts. His Excellency affirmed that the Sultanate of Oman joined the international community in celebrating this historic anniversary based on a firm conviction that the United Nations represents a means to promote the well-being of all humanity. A fundamental pillar of relations among states, a tool for resolving conflict, and a beacon guiding the world in addressing challenges and promoting the values of justice and peace. His Excellency pointed out that this anniversary comes at a time when the world is witnessing complex crisis and turmoil, which the Sultanate of Oman hopes the international community will be able to overcome with renewed resolve and closer solidarity to shape a more secure and stable future. His Excellency also stressed that the world today faces an urgent need to modernize the United Nations system and adapt its mechanisms to keep pace with the changing times. He emphasized the importance of this system, reflecting a true balance between the voices of the countries of the North and South in a manner that contributes to achieving international justice and equal partnership. Greetings of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq to His Excellency Mohammed Shahobuddin, President of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, were conveyed by His Excellency Ambassador Jamil bin Haji Al Balushi during the presentation of his credentials as Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Sultanate of Oman to the People's Republic of Bangladesh. For his part, His Excellency the President asked His Excellency the Ambassador to convey his sincere greetings to His Majesty the Sultan, wishing His Majesty the Sultan and the Omani people further prosperity and development. His Excellency also expressed his pleasure that this occasion coincides with the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between the Sultanate of Oman and the People's Republic of Bangladesh, praising the depth of bilateral ties and appreciating the positive role played by the Sultanate of Oman under His Majesty's leadership in consolidating the foundations of international peace and security and supporting efforts for stability and development regionally and internationally. Moody's upgraded Oman's credit rating to Baa3 with a stable outlook. The agency noted in its latest report that the government efforts have yielded positive results, including measures to improve the efficiency of public spending. Government spending declined to 29% of GDP, compared to an average of more than 41% during the period from 2016 to 2020. Public debt also declined by 35.5% of GDP by the end of last year, with expectations of continued decline in the coming years. According to the agency's report, the measures taken by the Sultanate of Oman to diversify sources of income will enhance its financial stability. These measures include increasing the contribution of non-oil revenues to the general budget, supporting plans to develop the green hydrogen sector and related industries, and expanding liquefied natural gas production by 2030. The Royal Oman Police announced the arrest of an Asian tourist suspected of orchestrating a sophisticated cyber fraud scheme in Oman. Authorities say she used advanced digital tools to hack into local Wi-Fi networks and broadcast fake messages directly to nearby mobile phones, attempting to deceive and defraud users. This incident serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of digital awareness. As the Royal Oman Police emphasized, your digital awareness is your first line of defense. The Health Committee in Wilaya of Sinau in North Sharqiya Governorate launched a number of initiatives to prevent the spread of drugs and psychotropic substances. On top of these initiatives comes the Awareness Caravan in Sinau's second health festival, which targets more than 5,000 pupils, parents, and school teachers. The initiative comes under the theme, Your Mind and Body Are a Trust. It is worth mentioning that a permanent awareness laboratory will be established, which will contain visual technologies and scientific content to educate visitors on the dangers of drugs and psychotropic substances, alongside the launch of a direct advisory line for communication and social and psychological support. Still to come in our news bulletin. Despite being a small community in the predominantly Christian country, Muslims in Georgia continue to uphold their religious traditions. Hamas confirmed its continued efforts to ensure the success of the ongoing round of negotiations in Doha to reach a comprehensive agreement in Gaza. Meanwhile, an Israeli official revealed that the two sides may be able to reach a ceasefire agreement and release prisoners within a week or two. A new round of indirect talks is currently underway in the Qatari capital between a delegation representing Hamas and an Israeli delegation to discuss the details of an agreement that would guarantee a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. On the ground, dozens of Palestinians were martyred and injured in Israeli airstrikes on the Gaza Strip over the past few hours. The airstrikes targeted women and children waiting for food aid. 82 Palestinians were martyred and more than 240 others were injured in Israeli airstrikes on the Gaza Strip over the past 24 hours. In a continuation of the targeting of civilians waiting for aid west of Rafah, 10 Palestinians were martyred and others were injured by Israeli army fire this morning. 2 Palestinians were also martyred in Israeli shelling of Khan Yunis. In Gaza City, Israeli drone strikes on homes in the Sabra and Al Zaytun neighborhood resulted in several Palestinian injuries. This comes as the Palestinian Ministry of Health in Gaza warned of power outages and generator failures due to fuel shortages as the occupation prevents the entry of fuel trucks. The European Union confirmed that it has reached an agreement with the Israeli occupation regarding expanding the scope of humanitarian aid access to the Gaza Strip. Kaja Kallas, EU High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, said the agreement includes opening more crossings, increasing the entry of aid and food trucks into the Gaza Strip, repairing vital infrastructure, and ensuring the protection of humanitarian workers. This agreement comes ahead of a meeting of EU foreign ministers next week, where they will discuss the possibility of suspending the partnership agreement with the Israeli government in light of what the EU considers a violation of the agreement's provisions related to respect for human rights.
We have to improve the situation that Israel has been breaching the Article 2.
Russian authorities said Ukraine's drone attacks killed 2 people in Russia and attempted to hit targets in Moscow. Russia's defense ministry said its air defenses downed 155 Ukrainian drones, including 11 bound for Moscow. Meanwhile, city authorities in Ukraine said Kyiv will allocate $6.2 million for a drone inspector program to defend the capital's skies from Russian drones. Russia has stepped up its combined attacks on the Ukrainian capital in recent weeks, launching hundreds of drones and missiles in hours-long night assaults, which caused damage to most of the city districts. Seoul, Tokyo, and Washington conducted joint exercises involving a B-52 strategic bomber over international waters for the first time. The Korean Ministry of Defense said the exercises aim to improve deterrence in the face of what it says are growing nuclear and missile threats from North Korea. The defense ministers of the 3 countries held a meeting in Seoul, during which they emphasized the importance of cooperation between them in confronting the security challenges posed by Pyongyang. U.S. President Donald Trump said he will impose a 35% tariff on imports from Canada starting next month. He also indicated that if Canada decides to increase its tariffs on the United States, the tariffs will be doubled. Over the past week, Trump sent letters to a number of countries, including his key allies, Japan and South Korea, informing them that higher tariffs are expected unless a new trade agreement is reached.
We're talking about a tariff of
Muslims in Georgia's remote villages, including Borjomi, gathered today to observe the weekly Friday prayer. Despite being a small community in the predominantly Christian country, they continue to uphold their religious traditions while emphasizing their strong Georgian identity and patriotism.
In the Georgian highland village of Borjomi, Friday prayers in the local mosque are always packed. Tucked away in the remote valleys close to the Turkish border, Borjomi and the surrounding region of Upper Adjara are a rare outpost of Islam in one of the world's most devoutly Christian countries. Georgia was the second country in the world to adopt Christianity as its state religion around the year 319, behind only neighboring Armenia. It remains devoutly Christian and national identity closely linked to centuries of struggle against Muslim Persian and Turkic invaders. Still today, Adjara's Muslim Georgians are derisively dubbed Tatars by some, referring to a Muslim ethnic group in Russia. According to census data, around 10% of Georgia's 3.6 million people are Muslims. But ethnically Georgian Muslims, unique to Adjara, are rarer and more controversial in a country whose national flag consists of 5 Christian crosses. The country's powerful Orthodox Church is seen as a custodian of a Georgian identity, and for many, membership of the church is a prerequisite for being truly Georgian. However, for the Georgians of Upper Adjara, who were converted to Islam during centuries spent as part of the Ottoman Empire, emphasizing that there is nothing contradictory in being both a practicing Muslim and a patriotic Georgian.
This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Signed by His Majesty the Sultan, His Excellency the Foreign Minister delivers the Sultanate of Oman speech on the occasion of the 80th anniversary of the founding of the United Nations. Moody's upgrades Oman's credit rating to Baa3 with a stable outlook. And indirect talks continue to reach an agreement in the Gaza Strip, and dozens of martyrs and wounded as a result of the Israeli aggression. With that, we come to the end of tonight's bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night, and we hope you have an enjoyable weekend.